What's going on, you guys? Today we're going to be learning the song Head Over Boots by Jon Pardi. This country song's a lot of fun to play, and it's quite simple too. So without all the yada yada, let's get into it. You are watching Logan's Lessons. We will first learn the chords and then the strumming pattern. The first chord we have is a G major chord. To play a G major chord, we will place our middle finger on the 3rd fret of our low E string. Our first finger will be on the 2nd fret of our A string. Our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of our B string. And finally, our pinky finger on the 3rd fret of our high E string. That is a G major chord. The second chord we have is a D major chord. To play a D major chord, we will place our first finger on the 2nd fret of our G string. Our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of our B string. And finally, our middle finger on the 2nd fret of our high E. That is a D major chord. The third chord we have is an E minor chord. To play an E minor chord, we will place our middle finger on the 2nd fret of our A string and our 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of our D. There's an E minor, and then we have a C chord. A C chord we will play with our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of our A string, our middle on the 2nd fret of our D, and our first finger on the 1st fret of our B string. And finally, the hardest chord in this song, C minor. To play a C minor, we will play our first finger on the 3rd fret of our A string, our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of our D, our pinky finger will go on the 5th fret of our G string, and finally our middle finger on the 4th fret of our B. Like that. Those chords in that order, G, D, E minor, C, C minor, is the majority of our song. Let's talk strumming. We start with the down up, and then everything after that is a up down up. So down up, up 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 down up, and so on and so forth. With the chords, we have a G. Notice I played it down up, up down up, up down up, up down up. So a total of 4 up down ups, really, is what it is. Up down up, up down up. Same thing for the D. Then E minor. 2, 3, 4. Then C gets 2. And it splits it with C minor, which gets the other 2. The whole chord progression being. Okay, so now let's discuss the discrepancies. Right after the first chorus, we go from a G major chord, which you play normal, then you go to a D major chord, played twice, and then a C major chord twice. And that drops you back into the verse. So if I play that section real quick for you. So right after the second verse, the same thing happens. Just after that, we add this little fancy, which is completely optional, but I'll show it to you anyway because I think it's kind of fun. You place your first finger on the 3rd fret of your low A string, just your A string, and then your 3rd finger on the 4th fret of your B string. You pick the A to the B string. Then you pick the A to the 3rd fret of your B string. I like to use my middle finger, but you could also just slide down your 3rd finger, whatever suits you best. And then you got to shift so that your 3rd finger's on the 3rd fret of your A string, and you place your first finger on the 1st fret of your B, like that. So, and that gets you right back into the chorus. Right after that second chorus, we then have a bridge. The bridge is pretty easy though. You strum out a G major chord, then it's a D minor 7. You place your middle finger on the 2nd fret of your G string, and you bar with your first finger, your index finger, across the 1st fret of your B and high E. You strum from your D string downwards. You strum that chord out just like that. Then it's a C, and then a C minor. So the bridge will sound like this. Oh, and right before the bridge, there's also a solo section, but the only difference between that and the main chord progression is that you don't have a C minor chord. So it's just G to D, E minor, and C. And that lands you right into the... and so on and so forth. And the only other little discrepancy is in the intro of the song, actually, where you just play the G major chord 4 times before starting the chord progression. And that's the intro, and then you start over playing the G 4 times. So that intro piece will sound like this. Starting a chord progression. And that is how you play the song Head Over Boots. If you have a song request, leave it down below. If you wish to be notified of future videos, hit that bell. I sincerely hope that you are well. Please do me a favor and hit that like button blue. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe too. I hope this video has been a blessing. You've been watching Logan's Lessons.